Yesterday, we saw one of the craziest crashes for Bitcoin we have ever seen. Maybe not percentage-wise, that might have been crazier before, but dollar-wise, this was the worst crash, the biggest crash we have ever seen to date. But it's a good thing. And many people that are new to crypto think that if the price crashes so much, it's bad. It shows weakness or it shows just how vulnerable it all is. And to the second point, I can kind of agree. It shows you how vulnerable a system can be in the crypto space because bad actors, or really any actor who decides to dump a lot of money or buy in hard can move the price by quite a good margin because it's so small. Now, as I just stated, I think it was a good thing. And many people don't realize for what reason it was actually good. Not only because I've stated many times that to sustain the upward curve, we need to correct every now and then. Because what is that really based on? Well, for the most part, it's based on the idea of not everybody holding spot Bitcoin. Not everybody just buying, keeping it, and hoping for things to go up. There are a lot of speculators. This is the case for any market, but with Bitcoin crypto, we have such a clearly defined structure that most people just expect for now, for I'm going to say the next half year or year for things to go up, or they do not believe. Those are mostly the two options. Of course, there's some people that do not know, but this is for the people that have a say in the matter. They either say, hey, we're going to go up for a long time. Over the next 10 years, we're going to go up for sure. But even throughout the next few months, we are still going to be in a bull market. And there are some people who think it's going to go to zero. So what basically just happened here? And this is relevant for not only Bitcoin, but for every single altcoin, even for your XRP. Well, just listen. And by the way, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video, but just take a look. So what just happened last night is what we call a flush. It took out significant sums of leveraged positions. Here you can see it was the biggest move in at least the last half year. And I can't remember when a bigger move than this came of like more than $1 billion in a day. It's been a long while. And that's because good actors, they're generally speaking, sorry, I'm ordering some Christmas gifts. Someone just came through. I was going to say you have a lot of bad people that are longing because they expect the market to continue up, even though there may be some dips. But especially the moment that we broke above 100,000, the general expectation for many was this is going to start sending. As the road towards 100 is kind of difficult, but going from 100 to 200 should be quite easy. And obviously, there's a counter. There are some people who think it's going to die. A lot of people want it to fail, but also they know both sides, which means they understood that many people were basically, quote unquote, betting on the fact that the $100,000 mark was going to get broken. And the moment that it did, it might go crazy unless it was either stopped or, well, if people are expecting the moment that it breaks, right? The moment it breaks 100,000, which it did, that it's going to go through hard, then they might leverage like crazy on those points. They might go in with a lot of money saying, this is where we never go below 100,000 again. This is where we go. And so one actor, some people are stating that one party specifically sold 5,000 Bitcoin in a snap to get the price down, and it caused an extremely large cascade of different liquidations. And that's basically what we saw right here. It's a flush of sorts, which is just a cascade of liquidations. But here comes the kicker. The reason I say it's quite good has to do with funding rates. So ultimately, funding rates are the cost of borrowing, or basically the advantage to lending out money. Right, so when we're talking about our crypto trading, which we do over on Blofin, by the way, there's a link for that exchange down below if you also want to check it out. Right now, for example, we're waiting for yet another XRP breakout. And you can trade on this website from anywhere in the world, if you're wondering. Our Bybit trades on XRP and all these are also still doing well. As you can see, we're still in tons of profit on nearly all of them, except obviously for WIF, which I kind of refuse to buy the bottom for. But on the top here, there's always a thing that says funding rate. And this is basically to keep these positions open, it costs something as you're basically borrowing money to do it, right? To basically act as if you've got more money than you actually got or than you're comfortable trading with. But so the more people that are saying, hey, prices are going to be going up, the more that this funding rate also increases. So what happens is that basically the cost of capital, the cost to trade, the cost to long goes up, and the benefit to shorting also goes up. Because what happens, well, if you are longing, and everybody tries to do that, then you have to pay a fee, which can be pretty significant if you're longing large sums. But if you're shorting, you get that fee paid out to you. So obviously, the more people that are longing, the higher the fee gets for the people. But also on the opposite side, the more that are shorting, that are basically saying the price is going to go down, the more that they get. Now, why the higher it gets, the more scary it gets, is because at some point, it's relatively quite high, where people are perhaps not comfortable longing anymore. Partially because of fees, but also because partially they expect things to be too bullish, meaning people are thinking, oh, let's go long. They're all leveraged in quite heavily. That's what the rate shows. And the moment it gets to a certain level, people realize, hey, There's a lot of people doing the same thing. We all think the price is going to go up. And again, some bad actor comes in to swoop them all out because at some point, maybe if people are very over leveraged, right? That's what they try to figure out. They all get swooped out in a fell swoop. Gets the price lowered. Probably they got their shorts filled with a ton of profit, but also in the wake of that, maybe not something they intended, but it resets the levels a bit. And just for fun, take a look if I go from current, just for the fee, right, to 1 day, to 7 days, to 30 days. You can see that over a year period, for example, this can be a very significant number. But when taking a look at recent history, you can see open interest rate funding rate. Look at how crazy it spiked yesterday. And then also here, this is again per 8 hours, by the way. So this is all from yesterday. You can see that the numbers start to skyrocket ever so slightly. And right now they have quote unquote been reset. So right now they're back to low levels, kind of like before the whole crazy spike in early November and a couple of middle points. But generally speaking, for longevity, this is quite good. And even when you start talking about our altcoins, maybe a coin like XRP, for example, to get a flush, to kind of like wave a lot of people out is very proper to sustain some sort of bullish momentum. All right, and now before we move on, let's talk about our partner for today's video called PinLink, because these guys, they're hitting the nail on the head, or I guess the pin in the right spot. Anyway, so PinLink is the first RWA tokenized DePIN platform. So I think they already, maybe they watched my videos, I don't know, but they're smart in the sense that they're kind of hitting all the targets, right? RWA, DePIN, AI in the name. It's just, I don't, it's smart. So it's hitting all. So before I talk about what's coming up with their D-app set to go live, etc., just want to quickly say the CEO of the project is the former VP of engineering at Engine. So he's pretty well connected and knows what he's doing. But more importantly, they were able to get some pretty crazy partnerships already without that much notoriety, in the sense that you're not really hearing about the project everywhere, but the partners that they've got, well, everybody knows these, right? Akash, Fetch, there we go. Anyway, I've stated it a few times before, right? I think RWA is the most bullish sector right now. Of course, AI and these AI agents, I think it's a little mix of the three of them. Just today, just take a look for fun, right? You cannot even make this up. Just everything is going absolutely crazy here. The RWA section is just extremely hot. So them trying to kind of bundle the key points together, RWA tokenized DePIN marketplace, I think it's pretty smart and has a lot of potential, especially because of the partnerships they've already been able to put in place. And there's more, by the way. The more you scroll, the more you'll find. I was just naming some examples. And I really would recommend y'all to take some time and read through some of the things they've written on their X, because it all just makes sense. And yeah, anyway, reading through it, they're not only going for one vertical, not only the RWA tokenization, but they're also going for a PIN AI, performance optimization suite is what they call it. Now, obviously the token will play a big role in everything that they're doing. But yeah, if you want to know more, just check out the links down below and let's move on with the video. And so ultimately, should we really be sad that prices are coming down? Well, in my opinion, not really so much. Mostly because the more we zoom out, the more we realize what is planned for us, right? What is up and coming? And from that perspective, whenever things start coming down, what is the best course of action? Well, on the short term, it might look to you as if panicking, cashing out, and being happy with your funds is the best decision. And to some, it will be. But for the majority of people, as long as you're not really panicky and you believe in the longer run, which I solemnly do, well then the best course of action is to really just keep having in your head, this is a multi-month thing, right? The run, it always works in the exact same manner. This time will probably not be different. It could be, but probability-wise, this will set on. Just like how many people thought, oh no, right? 99,000 was the top. We're only going to be going down. It did for a while. It was a bit true. People did panic over the next few days as the price came down. It took some time, right? From 99,000, it took indeed another 2 weeks or so to break those previous heights. And many people were scared that this was really the top forever. And then, again, 2 weeks later, we went and broke it. Now, people there thought, no, it's going to continue on forever. Just from that point of forward, it came right back down to our senses to put back everybody, to slap them back into reality. And now, slowly but surely, it's again moving its way up. I mean, even now, if you look at it, right, people will look at this Bitcoin move and say, oh, it was only up. It was so easy. But generally, when you're in it, right, at 99,000, you think, oh no, you see, this was the top. Or sorry, at 99,000, you think, oh, maybe 100. No, oh, it just got rejected. We're falling. Maybe this was the top. And then at 91, you really think, maybe this really was the top. But then later it went to 104. And now in hindsight, you look and think, oh, see, this was all just only straight up. Super easy for all the hodlers. Just wow. But during this time frame, since it was multiple days, there's a lot of emotions. And with many of these altcoins, it's the same. Once you eventually start zooming out, it'll all have looked so easy. But on the short term, oh boy, can it be hard. Oh boy, can it be annoying. And that's my reminder here that ultimately these corrections are all worth it for general longevity. And I always say, like, just believe in something, man. Even though you may be wrong, it's, in my opinion, worth it to believe in something in a bull run, because you tend to be right. And in the midst, it may look very, very awful. It may look annoying. You may hate yourself for a lot of these days. But just again, like I said, just zoom out. And if you trust the process, at least as of this point, it has always worked. As most of our coins are at all-time high levels, and I don't think they're going to top out here. I thought the same thing back in 2021. I thought the same thing back in 2017. I was like, oh, this really can't go much higher. It really can't happen. Then it does. It's only once you at some point think, oh, this is going to go on forever, right? Once we are past this date, past, for example, June, because we're doing so well, you think this is going to last so much longer. How high can it go? At some point that it won't. But now, until we're around those areas, I don't think we're going to top out. We've not done that yet any time before. It could, but probability-wise, if we're topping out every time, like about a year and a bit in, what is the chance that right now we're going to top like 3/4 of a year before that, right? I think we might top half a year earlier, all that stuff. That's like all debatable, sure, right? Because we expect the top to be like around November, but it could be even 6 months earlier. But I do not think it's going to be 1 year earlier than usual. It will break the pattern by too much. Yeah, those are my thoughts, man. That's it. Not financial advice, just my thoughts, just pure from the heart. Whatever I think is going to happen, I've told you just now. And I think that this reset, putting everybody back in their place, was ultimately a very good thing. Make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed it. Make sure you put the notification bell on so you never miss out on another crypto video. And yeah, that's it.